Welcome back to Black Sea Garage. I'm Matt. I edit the videos on this channel, and I'm the social marketing manager. Gotta give myself somewhat of a good title. And this is Penny. She's my 1971 Chevy Chevelle. I'll give you a little bit of a walk around Penny here. I've had her for about, I'd say, 12 years now, and pretty much replaced everything. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to cover, really. She's painted in Code 67 Classic Copper, which is actually the factory color for this car. A lot of people don't like it, but I do. And on a sunny day, as you can tell, she looks just like a brand spanking new Penny. And on a rainy, dark day, she looks like a Hershey chocolate bar. So it's definitely an acquired taste, but you know, I like chocolate. But just look at her though. It totally screams the 1970s. I mean, you just don't see color combinations like this anymore. You know, you got this copper color that just absolutely screams 1971, and you have white, bright white interior. And whenever I go to car shows or go to gas stations, that's the first thing that people are talking about. They're like, wow, look at that white interior. And they probably wouldn't be such fans of it if they knew how hard it was to keep it clean. But in 1971 and 72 for the Chevelles, they actually shared the same seat pattern, because this car from the factory came with more of a light tan sandalwood color interior. And I'll be honest with you, that's way too much brown for me. You know, I'm not trying to go big, brown, and boring over here. So I went with the 1972 color of white. And I think it really offsets and makes the car look really good. Here's what it looks like in the cockpit of Penny. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Looking down the cowl induction hood, looking at these awesome gauges, you can tell I really like this car. And everything in this car works. The only thing that doesn't is the washer fluid, you know, squirters, but I don't need those anyway. But tack works, even the clock works. I mean, really? A lot of cars, their clock doesn't even work anymore, like 10 days after it left the factory. Yeah, I went with a newer style radio, and it's not a Bluetooth one, unfortunately, but it has an aux cable, and I have it run into the console itself, so I can hook it up, play my tunes, and you know, enjoy myself while I'm cruising. And yep, as you can tell, air conditioning. This was actually a factory air car, but when I got it, all the stuff had been gutted out, and there was really no point of trying to salvage it. So I went ahead with a vintage air system, and the best part is you get heat too, because I was driving this car up here in northwestern Pennsylvania for, geez, 9 years without heat. And let me tell you, it is not fun, especially if it rained and then your windshield fogs up and you're really screwed. And as you can tell, I've got running Holley Sniper EFI. Put about almost 19,000 miles on my Sniper unit with zero, and I mean zero problems. Probably the best thing I've done to this car, and I totally recommend people doing EFI swaps, especially if you drive your old cars as much as I do. Anything else, the coolest thing though, and when I'm talking about gauges and everything working, I love this gauge. This is my, what I like to call, economy gauge. As soon as you're wide open throttle, that cowl induction door goes wide open, and you know that you're probably getting around 3 miles per gallon. And I love it. As you can tell, Penny's actually lowered about 2 inches in the front. I went with a Performance Online tubular control arm and coilover shock kit about a year and a half ago, and we swapped it out, and man, this car is stiff. I really like how this car handles. And essentially, the bushings that were in my control arms were pretty much shot, and they had to come out anyway to swap them out. So I'm like, you know what? I might as well get something fancy, spend some money, and do some upgrades. And I went with those, and I'm very, very, very happy with it. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is I'm gonna pop the hood, and I'll show you what Penny's got underneath. So Penny's got a 4-bolt main 350. And essentially what I did is I tossed a, you know, Edelbrock Performer intake on it. I went with a comp cam, thumper cam. It's really nothing crazy. It's like 9-to-1 compression. I can run, you know, 87 in this thing. This is my cruiser. Essentially, I wanted a car that just looks good, sounds good, and is reliable. And this is about, you know, the best way that I could have done it. And I'm very happy with it. The this is nowhere near as clean as Warren's car. This is just very honest. There's dirt, road grime, but you know what? I drive my junk, and you know, that's just how it is. Things are gonna get dirty. So I'm currently in the process of building another motor, and that's all gonna be covered on Black Z Garage. Gonna be doing a stroker motor. I've got some nice GM Performance aluminum heads. They're ready to rock and roll. The engine block's in the machine shop right now. Just got some new forged pistons for it. So whenever everything comes back in, we will definitely be covering that, and we'll be doing a whole build on that. And you can be sure that there will be a video of it going into this car. Now, as for a transmission, I'm just using a basic turbo 350. I'm thinking if I go with the stroker motor, I may try to do like a 4L80. Not sure yet. I really want to overdrive because I'm kind of screaming while I'm going down the highway. I've got a 12 bolt, 355 rear gears, posi, and it would just be nice if I was getting a little bit better gas mileage on the interstate, especially considering how much I drive this car. But I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, Penny, she's just a solid car. Whenever this car was painted, it was painted about 12 years ago. And at the time of me filming this, the guy that actually painted this car and did all the body work had just passed away. And it's very unfortunate. He was a great guy, always had a smile on his face. And it's just a shame because it's just one less person that is doing body work on these old cars. Because I don't blame the body shops that don't want to work on these, because fighting rust, it's a never-ending battle. It's quite a bit of work. And especially with, hitting deer and insurance jobs, at least that money is, secure, and they're going to get it. A lot of these old jobs, people start them and they don't finish them, and some people don't get paid. I get it. I know why people don't want to work on these things. But yeah, we ended up having to, it's a Buffalo car. The quarters had to be replaced, both sides. A little bit of rust around the back glass. I mean, it's an A-body, GM car, so that's definitely going to be the norm. We went ahead, fixed all that. The fenders are original. The hood's aftermarket. And the roof didn't have any holes in it. And actually, the only hole that we had any sort of rust in the floorboard was actually the driver's side trunk pan. We had to replace that. Other than that, it's got original floorboards from a Buffalo car. I know, like, really? They when we picked this car up in Hamburg, New York, which is just south of Buffalo, we opened the glove box and we could see where they were putting wiper blades on this thing in like the mid-90s while they were driving it. The previous owner, actually, the one before the previous, he was using this as a daily driver for Penn State Barron in Erie, Pennsylvania. And we get a thing called lake effect snow up here, and they sure like to use salt and brine and all sorts of crap on the roads. It's an absolute miracle that this car had survived. But that's what you get when you oil the car every single year. It saved her, and that's why she's still here today. Well, Penny doesn't only get her name from her awesome color, but she also gets it from the fact she has a lot of pennies from me. This is my receipt book, and it's pretty cool. I ended up finding this from because the car sold brand new in Philadelphia at Matt Slap Chevrolet, and this is the ad from the week that my car was sold. And the only reason that I know this was the week that it was sold is because we have the Protecto plate that came with the car. There's actually quite a bit of documentation that came with the car. I'll show you some of it. I think this was like some sort of financial thing from when they bought it. Yep, here's the Protecto plate. You can see Philadelphia, PA. Some guy named Morrison, I think it was Edward Morrison, bought this car. But I have whatever's left of the build sheet, original manual, just some stuff that I found in the glove box. I also keep my manuals in here. So sniper, my comp cams, information, QA1, because I got adjustable upper control arms on the back. My coilovers are Alden Americans. I pretty much just kept everything. And then this is where it starts to get depressing, because this is all receipts. It's also a great idea to keep a book like this, because if something ever breaks, you can always just come right back to it and reference whatever parts you need, and then you just buy it and replace it. As is traditional YouTube fashion for filming your muscle car, we got to get this angle right here of me getting into the car and starting it. So I'm going to go ahead and start it for you guys.